It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. It's a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Yo, once again, it's on. Back at you one more again. Real Kens TV in the house like kitchen sinks. Now, before I get into this morning's story, rather, if you will, understand that I'm the self-proclaimed Mr. 30 Minutes or Better. Meaning that anytime I drop a story, it's guaranteed to be 30 minutes or better. So if you're on your way to work, you're at work, you don't feel like being there, as we so often don't. You're on your way home from work, you need to laugh, you need to cry. Perhaps you're trying to lay down and take a nap, or you're trying to go to sleep at night, depending on whatever time you're listening to or viewing this video. Or you're in the mood for a good old-fashioned true, keyword being true, penitentiary / life story / life experience. This is the channel for you. If you like your 10 to 12 to 15 minute videos, absolutely nothing wrong with that whatsoever. But at Real Kens TV, it's 30 minutes or better. So with all that being said, there is a message. Now, before we get into the main message, we're going to get into the first message. Where's all the Dallas Cowboy haters at? Hi, haters. Very, very big win that we had yesterday. I'm back on board with the Cowboys. And we're going to see if we can turn this thing around. Pause, double pause. It's been a tumultuous season. You know, things haven't exactly gone according as planned. But guess what? When does life ever go according to plan? So I just wanted to shout out, all the Dallas Cowboy haters. Once again, hi, haters. But I also want to give a shout out to all the Dallas Cowboy fans. See, we're not fair weather type of individuals. We're here for the long run. Now that we got that out of the way, I've said it once, but I'll say it again. There is a message. There is another message. I've really been in tune with my emails as of late. Real Kens TV at Yahoo. Real Kens TV at Yahoo. And I'm getting more and more questions posed to me in my email. What happens to, and I have to watch what I say on YouTube, R word. What happened to those guys in prison? The guys that are not only accused but convicted of the R word, would you say grapers? What happens to grapers in prison? The situation that had occurred, I want to say 10, 11 years ago. And you had an individual, and we're going to refer to this individual as Mark. Reason being, I'm not sure what the laws are. I know that those offender laws are very, very tedious, to say the least. So I'm not quite sure what I can and what I can't say. So we'll just refer to this individual as Mark. Mark didn't have any sort of criminal record. This particular time, Mark may have been 30 years old, roughly 30 years old. And he was a school teacher. He was a middle school teacher. He appeared to love kids. He had actually had a kid that was living in his home with him that was 11, 12 years old, somewhere right around in that range, that he was in the process of actually adopting. As I mentioned, Mark, he seemed to be a pillar in the community. Went to church every week. He's in the choir. He's teaching classes on the side, help to tutor kids. He had like an after school program. Mark appeared to be this great guy. One day he's in class and they come and pull him out of the classroom. We need to speak with you. The principal, a couple of investigators or whatever in the school system. You see, word started to travel that Mark had been inappropriately touching one of his students. Been saying things that you definitely shouldn't be saying to a kid. One individual turned to two, two turned to four. So quite naturally, they started to investigate the whole scenario as far as the kid that Mark was attempting to adopt. Something that's significant about this whole ordeal, this whole disgusting ordeal, they were all little boys. Y'all rock with me, man. Let me know where you're chiming in from. I'm in Lexington, Kentucky. Jump in my comments and let me know where you're chiming in from. So then you have 5 boys, little boys, all under the age of 13 years old. Obviously, he's suspended, pending investigation. You know, he was pending with, suspended rather with pay. Once the investigation was concluded, it was determined that Mark had been performing sexual acts on some of these kids. With that being said, he's immediately terminated and prosecuted. Now, the 4 kids that was in school with Mark, as far as his students, he had touched, a couple of them. As I mentioned, inappropriate conversations, talking sexual to him. But the little boy that lived with him, they found it to be true. The little boy that lived with him attested to the fact that Mark would do these things to him. I'm not going to say exactly, but just understand that this is a kid. And the things that Mark was doing, you would only do with adults. Consensual actions with an adult. They prosecute him. It's all over the news. It's all over the newspapers. The parents sue the middle school, understandably. Mark goes into hiding. When they're prosecuting Mark, he gets arrested. $10,000 bond. $10,000 bond. $2,000 for each little boy. 5 counts of the S word, assault, sodomy, all type of charges that stem from the inappropriate behavior, the sickening behavior with these 5 little boys. I'm not going to make this about me. But when I got caught up with counterfeiting, they never even found any checks, any money, any bills, anything like that on me. And my bond was $37,000. Here you have a child predator, and his bond is $10,000. He goes to jail. He sits in jail for a few days. He's not in there very long. $10,000 full cash. I remember being in the jail, and I was a trustee at that time. And I seen him, and he was in protective custody. I knew this dude. You see, I knew him because we had gone to church together. Oh, yeah, Kens grew up in the church. I bet, man, every Sunday. It was no doubt. It was no question. Oh, mama, my stomach hurt. My man, you better get your ass up. Your stomach didn't hurt last night when you was out. Last week when you want to go to that party, but now your stomach hurt and you don't want to go to church. You better get your ass up and get ready. Wasn't no not going to church. On Wednesdays, I'm going to choir practice. I ain't even want to sing in the choir. I got to be an usher. My mom kept me in church. I just veered to the left once I became an adult. So when I see him, I'm just kind of looking at him. I don't really say much to him. He sees me. I see him. Hey, what's up? Hey, man, what's going on, man? That's how you talk. What's going on, man? Shoot, how you doing, man? How's everything? Man, everything's cool, man. To paint a better picture for you all, Mark was about, as I mentioned, was about 30. Him and I were probably about the same complexion. He may have been slightly darker than me. Had long braids. Mark probably weighed about 170, 175. Slim dude. Probably 5'11". Mark was about 5'11". Seriously, Mark was about 5'11". Rock with me. Get to the story, Kens. Man, I'm going to get there when I get there. Respectfully. Shout out to all the truck drivers. Shout out to all the people pulling the 12-hour, 16-hour, 8-hour shifts, 4-hour shifts. Shout out to the Uber drivers, the Instacart, DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub. Shout out to people working in the hospital. Shout out to the janitors. Shout out to the doctors. Shout out to everybody that rocks with Real Kens. And they say Real Kens. We love the fact that you make the longer videos because it really helps us get through our shifts. I do what I do for the people. The truck drivers that putting their lives at risk, that's on these highways, making sure that we get our packages that, we want it express delivered to us the next day or within the next couple of days. See, if it's not for them truck drivers out there dropping them big loads off, because they got big loads, all the truck drivers that got them big loads. If it's not for them, we wouldn't get our items, period, to be honest. And if so, it'll be a long time. So shout out to everybody, the medical supply delivery people, everybody. Shout out to any and everybody that rocks with Real Kens. Don't have really too much conversation for them. I leave out the next time that I come into the that particular unit that I was working, because as a trustee in the county jail, they move you around. So one day you may be in this unit, the next day you may be in that unit. So when I come back, he's already gone. He's made bond. I'm in the county myself fighting for my life. They trying to give me a L. I can't get my bond reduced. It's $37,000 full cash, but this individual comes in with these egregious charges, horrific charges, with a $10,000 bond. Make it make sense, Yana. Make it make sense, Mr. Prosecutor. I'm a flight risk. I'm a menace to society because I went out and I did wrong. I accept full accountability and responsibility. Breaking the law is breaking the law. But there's levels to breaking the law. There's levels to it. So while I'm fighting for my life, y'all let a SO out on bond. No real restrictions. Only restrictions that he had was you can't be around minors. He's fighting his case. The entire, for, I want to say about a year and a half, he's fighting this case. Again, it's all over the news, man. At this particular time, there was a district attorney, Commonwealth attorney. The lead Commonwealth, actually, let's rewind that. It's my man, your rewind, that Hassan Campbell blatantly stole from me. Shout out to Hassan Campbell. You had a prosecutor in the name of the lead prosecutor, head prosecutor, Ray Larson. Y'all can Google this. Ray Larson was the... He was a hated inmates, hated criminals, period. Couldn't stand him. Ray Larson tried to get rid of parole in Kentucky. He felt as though everybody needed to do 100% of their time. Yeah, one of those type of individuals. Well, he's no longer with us at this point. But at this particular time, he was overseeing this case. After many, many months of investigations and testimonies and things of that nature, they felt that it was in the best interest of the victims to make this plea deal, in which Mark would receive a 2-year sentence. A 2-year sentence for graping. Not necessarily graping, but, you know, the kid that lived with him, it was a grape. The other ones, it was just a sexual assault. I'm going to just say it. It's not to demean those charges, because you shouldn't do anything of the sorts to anybody, let alone kids, but anybody, period. No means no. No means no. Yes means no. Especially when you're dealing with some minors that trust you, that look to you as you're the individual that I, want to be like. You're the individual that I really, really look up to and I trust. You're supposed to have my best interest. And you violate me like that? You violate my innocent, my adolescent trust that way? Nevertheless, that's what it was. A 2-year motherfucking sentence because Ray Larson came out and said, we don't want to put these children on the stands. See, Mark had, his people had some money. He was established. He was a school teacher. His lawyers used a strategy in which I'm not going to necessarily say they made the prosecution believe that they were going to go to trial, but they acted as though, guess what? Y'all just going to have to prove it. We're going to go to the box. We're going to go to trial. And these kids are going to have to be on the stands. And a lawyer, the piece of shit lawyer that he had that would even take on a case like this, essentially was threatening to, when I get those kids on the stands, you know what it's going to be, because he had a high-powered lawyer. People had money. The Commonwealth didn't want to put the kids through that make them relive those horrific nightmarish experiences. So they say, you know what? We're giving 2 years. Has to be a registered SO for 20 years. The public humiliation. And I think that's just best for all parties. 2-year plea deal is accepted. He's taken into custody. I said custody. He's taken into custody immediately. They take him into custody. He goes back to protective custody. This particular point, it's like a year and a half later. That's how long he fought the case and was able to stay out and remain out on bond for these horrific charges. In the meanwhile, while he's getting a 2-year sentence, I go on to get a 13-year sentence for counterfeiting. Make it make sense. Rock with me. He sits in the county jail for a few months. But see, when you have those type of charges, you have to go to prison because they require you to take the SO classes. There's classes that you literally have to take. He's protected in the county jail. He's in protective custody. See, protective custody, you never technically have to come out of your cell. Why? Because for you all that's never been to jail before, they have it's called, I refer to it as a unit. So when you go into the unit, let's just say the unit is, I don't know, Unit D. When you go into Unit D, everything is see-through in our county jail, glass. So the correctional officer, he's in the middle, like the guards tower's in the middle. You got 4 units downstairs, 4 units upstairs. When you walk into, actually you have 4 pods. So when you walk into a pod, it may be pod A. Take the key, unlock the door. When you walk in, there's a walkway. It's probably, 40 or 50 feet long. Then you got individual cells within that on the walkway. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. 8 different cells. Everybody in those cells is protective custody. When you come out for rec, you have maybe 3 or 4 tables that you can sit down and write a letter at. You have a table in your cell, but if you want to come out and eat or write a letter or whatever, you have a 4-man table. You have a telephone, and you have a TV that's on the wall, and you got on the other end, you have your shower, and then you have a toilet. 2 separate rooms, entities. You got your toilet with your sink, and then you got your shower over here. Nobody can get to you. I guess if you go out to take a shower, somebody can get to you, but the problem is everybody's in protective custody. So unless somebody just checks in to, hey man, I'm going to get dude, put me in protective custody. Other than that, you don't have any worries. Sits in the county several months, and they ship him off to the rotary farm. The rotary farm, I've mentioned that several times in my past videos. Just where you go in Kentucky, LaGrange, the fish tank. You get processed, you get, your medical exams, physical exams, mental evaluations. You get classified, and you get sent off to prison. Think about the rotary farm. When you get there, man, it's you in prison, man. It's dog eat dog. Gorillas, goons. Motherfucking lions, tigers, bears, hyenas. If you're from Kentucky and you know about the rotary farm, jump in the comments and let me know. And even if you're not from Kentucky, let me know, because it's just called the rotary farm in Kentucky. Everywhere you go has a processing center to where you go, get classified, and they send you off to prison. The fish tank. He gets to the fish tank. I don't know really what's going on. I don't know why he was in GP, in general population. But nevertheless, he was in GP, general population. He's there. He's in a dorm. They, assign you a dorm once you get there. They make you take a shower. You got to take a shower in front of a bunch of people. They give you this stuff, and it's supposed to kill lice or whatever it's called, and you wipe yourself down. They spray you with the little hose like you see on the movie. Cut your hair. Cut your hair off. Cut your beard off. You run around looking like Chester the M-word. Chester the M-word. Chester the M-word. Now, at this particular moment, this is what they did. Now they don't cut your hair. They don't cut I think they cut your facial hair. But now they can't cut your hair. But back then, they would cut your hair off when you got there. You don't want to get your hair cut, you're going to the hoe. And I've seen people go to the hoe, man. Dudes been growing their locks for 10, 12 years. Send me to the hoe, I ain't cutting my hair. They send you to the hoe. For whatever reason, Mark was not in protective custody when he probably needed to be in protective custody the most. You would lose your life at that rotary farm, man. You got people at the rotary farm that just got convicted, and they done just got 20, 30, 40, 50 years life sentences, and they mix you all in one big dorm. They put you in a dorm, it's probably 100 people in the dorm. You walk into the dorm, they'll say, hey, H dorm. You go into H dorm, you got your little bag, you got your toilet paper roll, your razors, your shaving cream, your soap, your little kit that they give you when your blanket, your sheets, your washcloths, your towels, your boxers, your socks. You got all of that in a bag. It's like a laundry bag, a net bag. And it's white. You walk into the dorm. Don't nobody know you. There he is. That's the guy right there. Yeah, we gonna get him. There he is. There he is right there. That's him. That's the initiation that nearly everybody gets when you walk into the dorm. That's him. They looking to see what's your demeanor, who you are, what's your reaction gonna be. Even if they know nothing about you whatsoever, that's just what they do to everybody that walks into the dorms. He walks in, he finds his bed or whatever, starts to put his things away, and he's just, when you first come to prison, like you're really trying to. This is his first time. He not a street dude. This dude was a teacher. Nothing wrong with being a teacher, and nothing wrong with not being a street dude. Matter of fact, I recommend not being a street dude. Respectfully. When you first get to prison, a lot of times, it really depends, because I've seen people getting taken the first night, second night that they're there. But a lot of times people are going to try to just fill you out for a little bit. Well, when you're at that rotary farm, aka the fish tank, you may only be there for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, maybe 120 days. Just depends on where you're going. People don't really have a whole lot of time to fill you out, opposed to when you're actually in prison to where you're going to be housed at, permanently housed at. They're filling him out. They recognize, hold on, man. It's always going to be somebody that recognizes, hold on, man. I know this dude. I know this dude. This particular time, I'm not there. But there's an individual that I know very, very well that was there, and he's telling me the entire story. I can just imagine it, because unfortunately, I've been at the Rotary Farm like 3 times. Very, very familiar with the fish tank. He said after about a week or so, he's on his bunk. He's on the top bunk. He said that he slept kind of towards the front, but not necessarily in the middle of the unit. See, when you walk into the unit, like I said, let's just say you go to H dorm, you walk in, you got 25 bunks on the left side, which is bottom and top. You got 25 on the right side. When you look to yourself, when you look to your left, when you first walk into the dorm or the unit, you got maybe 3 phones on the wall. You got your TV. They always put the TV by the phone. I never understood that, because the TV's so loud so you can barely hear on the phone. Hello? What'd you say? I can't hear you. The dorm's already loud, but nevertheless, that's just what it is. You got your table set up. You got maybe 2 tables where you can play your, chess and checkers and Scrabble, and then people's cooking their food and all of those things. Maybe three tables, maybe. Then on your right-hand side, you got your JPay machines. That's basically just a machine where you can email. And I would say maybe about 50 feet. I say the bathroom's about 50 feet from the front door to the back. You got about 4 or 5 toilets, 4 or 5 sinks. And they're all beside each other. There's no wall separating them. There's no curtains. There's no nothing. So when you sitting down using the bathroom, you sitting down next to an individual that's 3 feet away, and y'all just talking, and it just is what it is. And you got a shower that holds 8 to 10 people, and then people hang out in the bathroom. As crazy as it may sound, people hang out in the bathroom. They back there, they rapping, they cutting hair, because you're not supposed to cut hair at the Rotary Farm. So you got people that break the razor. They give you razors, so you break the razor. You take that razor and you put it on a comb, like the little black combs that they give you, and you cut hair. You like clippers. Yeah, does a better job than clippers. So you got people cutting hair in the bathroom. You got people, beating on the walls. You know what I'm saying? Just rapping, just kicking it. You might be sitting there using the bathroom and it's 15 people in the bathroom. Hangout spot. As I mentioned, he said that he was like kind of close to the front, but I guess kind of close to the front, in the middle of being in the front of the dorm and in the middle of the dorm. He's in between those, if that makes any sense. It was rec time. At the Rotary Farm, you get 1 hour a day for rec, meaning that you can go outside on the yard, exercise, walk the track, play basketball, do whatever you want to do. Go to the game room. They got a game room. You can go play cornhole, shoot basketball, whatever you want to do. You have an hour. Sometimes people didn't go out for rec because it's so loud and obnoxious in the dorm that when everybody else goes out for rec, you got 100 people. They stay full. You got 100 people that go out for rec. Well, you have rec time and you have 100 people in the dorm, rather. So let me clear that up. Out of 100 people, maybe 95 will go out, 96 will go out for rec. Other, 5, 4 people, whatever, 3 people, they'll stay inside, get them some peace of mind, maybe lay down, watch TV, get on the phone, whatever they want to do, and it's quiet, it's peace of mind. I'm going to be honest, I didn't always go out for rec either. You had Mark. He wasn't trying to go out for rec. My dude was telling me that Mark was more of a kind of just stayed in his little bed area, read his books all day long, and that's it. Didn't really, talk to nobody, wasn't kicking it with nobody. He didn't know nobody, just stayed to himself. This particular day was rec time. Everybody else is going out for rec. Dude is like, man, I stayed in because I had some business to handle. I needed to get on the phone. My girl hadn't been calling me or writing me or emailing me, and I didn't know what was going on. It's hard to get on the phone. You got 100 people. You got 3 phones. One of the phones is probably not even working. 2 of them maybe, because dudes getting mad. Hello? I can't hear you. Or they mad because their girl's not answering the phone, and they boom, 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 just banging the phone up against the wall so you can't hear it. So it's very, very difficult to get on the phone. And then you got dudes that get on the phone and then they'll call right back. Hold on, man, I'm going to double back. They'll call right back. 15-minute call, they call right back. And you got dudes waiting to get on the phone. So it's very, very difficult to get on the phone in prison, especially at that Rotary Farm, a.k.a. the fish tank. Y'all follow me? I'm trying to paint a picture so you all will really know exactly what I'm speaking of. He sees 4 individuals that typically go out for rec, but they don't go out that day. And he's telling me the story. He's narrating the story like I'm narrating it to you all. I thought that was peculiar. I thought that was awkward. It was weird. Mark never really went out for rec. See, they had peeped his whole stilo, his style. Urban Dictionary, they understood his everyday habits when rec time came. Mark went in the restroom once everybody was gone, because once they popped them doors, Unit H, rec time, you hear that door pop, man, dudes is flying out the door, man. Dorm is empty, dorm is quiet. You got the dude that I'm speaking of. You got the 4 other individuals. You got Mark. So what's that, 6 people? Then he said it may have been maybe 2 or 3 other people that was just in the cell just chilling. COs is not really coming in during your rec time. They know everybody else is gone to rec. COs be lazy, man. I'd be the same way if I was a CO, so I can't sit here and knock them for that. But I would never be a CO. But I'm just simply saying, in the event that I was, they're not coming to do their regular walkthroughs, because they come through and do walkthroughs like every 30 minutes or something like that while you're at the Rotary Farm. But they know everybody's out at rec. I'm gonna just sit in this guard's tower and chill, get my food, have my food delivered to me, and I'm chilling. I'm on the phone with my feet kicked up. Yeah, they got cameras, but yeah, I'll watch the cameras a little bit. But I can't watch every camera, every single second, moment of the day. So how I am now is how the CEOs be, yeah, man, on their phones or whatever. He said that he noticed something that it just didn't seem, it didn't seem right. It didn't seem normal. You got 4 dudes, man. White dudes. Mark was a black dude. Mark goes in. He goes into the restroom. He sits down he's using the restroom. But they knew he was going to get in the shower because he takes his towel, his boxers or whatever, hangs it on a little hook. They got like a little hook right there by the shower. Turn the shower water on or whatever. Allow it to get hot. He's using the bathroom. You see, the investigation was already done. They knew his pattern. He's sitting down on the toilet, using the restroom. They allow him to go into the shower. Dude said he was just on his bunk chilling, minding his business, man, reading a book, relaxing, just enjoying the peace of mind. You know how it is when you have a whole lot of kids in the house, and I love kids, but I'm just using this as an example. You're around a bunch of noise and screaming and hollering and fussing, and he did this, he took my toy, and he took my shoe, and he took this, and he took that, and she let me not, that's not fair. Me not going back in there. You know how kids are. But when you're not around that, and you just have that moment to just relax, and it's just silence, and you don't have to hear anything, that's how it is at the fish tank. Well, like when everybody goes to wrecking, you remain in the dorm. Mark gets into the shower. He's in the shower for maybe about 5 minutes or so. Then them goons that I tell y'all about, them gorillas, them birds, them lions, them tigers, them hyenas, they coming for you. 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. 3, 4, better lock your door. 5, 6, better crucifix. Yeah, y'all think Freddy Krueger was scary? Go to the penitentiary. You got 3 that ran in on him in the shower, and you got 1 that's standing guard right there by the door, because even when a CO comes in, if a CO, in the event that a CO comes in, remember I said it's probably about 50 feet as far as from the front door all the way to the back, to the bathroom. You got a gorilla standing guard. Nobody's coming in the bathroom, although it's only a couple, other individuals that's in the cell. But see, people come in all the time. Like, for instance, if you out on rec and you got to go to the restroom, you ain't trying to go to the porta potty. You can run back in the dorm, use the restroom, go back out. You got a gorilla standing. Big Bull. Big Bull was a white dude. They were all white. Man, his calves were so big. He's standing guard at the door. The other 3 run in on Mark in the shower. Dude says that he hears a whole lot of screaming, like, no, please, stop, no, please don't, no, They beat him. They beat him while he's in the shower. Imagine he's naked. The only thing he has on his shower shoes. They go in, they got their boots on, they, booted and suited. Oh, booted and suited. They booted and suited, ready to go to war. You don't want to go to war with a soldier. No limit, true niggas. I thought I told you. You don't want to. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Sometimes I get hype. I go through my I have to remind myself that this is not the 90s anymore. I go through my no limit soldiers sometimes. Of course, it's respectfully. But at any rate, dude said, man, when I heard all that screaming and hollering, I immediately jumped off my bunk. Not immediately. I immediately jumped off my bunk, went to the door. He said, but I was apprehensive because I didn't want to alert the police because now they're going to look upon me as a rat, as a snitch. See, sometimes the door will remain open. Like, it wouldn't be open. The door would appear to be closed, but it wasn't like all the way closed. So you can just walk in and walk out. This particular day, I guess luck was on his side. The door was open. He just walked out. He didn't want no parts. He didn't even want to be in the unit when this happened. Dudes do what they do. They ended up not only beating Mark, they graped him. I don't know how many of the three actually did it, but they all partook in the situation. I don't condone that either. And a lot of people will say, well, he deserved that because he did that to the little kid, so he deserved it. Hey, you have a right to your opinion. I just believe that no means no, ultimately. They graped him and they beat him. And once they were finished, walked back out onto the yard like nothing happened. After that happened, after your hour on the yard, sometimes they give you an hour and a half. Sometimes they'll give you 2 hours. But typically it's just an hour. Come back into the cell. Dudes is rushing to get into the showers. You've been outside working out, running, playing basketball, whatever. You trying to get into the shower. Remember, it's 100 people. 94, 95 people been out to wreck. Showers only hold 8 to 10 people, so you trying to, hang your IDs on the little shower thing or whatever. There's a place where you can hang your ID, and that signifies, okay, I'm 4th in line, I'm 8th in line, I'm 15th in line, based upon where your ID is placed. Dudes running in, trying to get in the shower. Dudes laying in the shower, man. Blood on the floor, water's running, though. He's messed around, man. Butt naked. Police come in. Of course, they do an investigation. Can't really do much to individuals that's at the Rotary Farm. You already locked down 23 hours a day. They're going to go back and review the cameras and see who, came out and who came in or whatever. I don't know whatever happened with the investigation because dude that was telling me, he said that he ended up getting transferred like in the midst of the investigation, like a few days later. I don't know what happened. It's crazy because I actually seen Mark not long ago. It was about 2 years ago. I ran into him. And I seen him, we were at the grocery store, and I seen him, and I just kind of went the other direction. You know how you'll see somebody, and you just like, they talk too much. I'm not really in a talking mood right now, so you just kind of, you slide on them. I slid. I didn't really have nothing to say. What am I going to say to you? I see he's alive. He looked well. He looked normal. He didn't look like he took a beating to me. He didn't look like he got raped. But really, what is the real look of someone getting raped? I'm assuming that in the particular moment in the situation at hand, they felt as though, okay, you did this to them little kids, so now we're going to do it to you. We're going to make you feel, we're going to make you understand exactly how those kids feel. Mark went in, did his time, took his classes or whatever, and he's back out on the streets. Probably only has another 9 or 10 years to be a registered SO, then he's off the hook for good. See, when you go to prison and you're a registered SO, they protect you. Once you get in those SO classes, the S-word offender classes, it becomes a hate crime if you do anything to these individuals. Now, you got some people that just don't care, but they keep you separated from the rest of the individuals on the yard. They try to, at least. In the event that you're able to get to them, if you do anything to them, it's a hate crime. Sometimes the feds come in. They protect the SOs more than anything else. And you know why? Because a lot of them are SOs. The people at the top, a lot of them are SOs. So they protect these individuals that do the most despicable, heinous, horrific crimes that you could possibly commit. Get caught with a little drugs. No, it's not right to sell drugs. Get caught with a gun and you're a felon. You might have a felony for theft or credit cards or the feds really, they ready to come in and pick the case up and give you 20 to life. 15, 20 years at 85%. But if you're an SO, you're protected by the state. You better not put your hands on them. Now, in the county jail, you're not as protected because you haven't been convicted yet. You're just in the county jail pending trial. Then when they send you to the Rotary farm, if you don't opt to go to PC, protective custody, you're not really protected because you're not in the but once you enter that SO program, you don't have to go to the SO program for what I understand, but you're not going to get out. And if you do get out, you're going to do way more time. But you have individuals that they tell you, okay, you got to go through the SO program. They was messing with a young lady in Kentucky, is 18 years old. Messing with a young lady that was 16, 17 years old. She told me she was 18. I didn't know, so I ain't going through the SO program, man, because I ain't know. She lied to me. You have those type of individuals that don't go through the program, and plus, a lot of them dudes, I done seen a couple of them, they got hands. I ain't never seen nothing happen to them. Perhaps it was because, people can't believe that. I don't know. But I know that there are people that do lie about their age. But at the same time, you shouldn't be 35 messing with an 18-year-old anyway. But nevertheless, I'm not passing judgment on anyone. I'm just simply saying they protect the SOs. So that's what happens to SOs. To answer your question, that's what happens to SOs in prison. They're protected. You can't always protect them. But in this particular situation, there was nobody there to protect Mark. And Mark got what he got. He lucky they didn't unalive him. Typically in prison, if a black dude, if 4 white guys, 3 white guys jump on a black dude, it's going to be war. If 3 or 4 black dudes jump on a white dude, it's going to be war. If they're about it, if anybody knows anything about them, if they got people, people know who you are when you're in it, but there was nobody that was going to come to Mark's defense in that particular situation. He got what he got. They got it back in blood, man. And that's what they left him in. A puddle of blood and shower water. Prison shower water. Real Kens TV. Hopefully you like the video. Feel free to comment. Definitely share. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And be sure to hit that post notification. So anytime I bring you this action and this heat, guess what? You're amongst the first to receive. Well, Real Kens, hold up. Before you go, Real Kens, what happened to the dudes? What happened to... I don't know. I wasn't there. The individual that was telling me the story, he ended up getting transferred, as I mentioned, a few days later. So I don't know if they came back. I'm sure that they did an investigation. But see, a lot of times them COs, man, I don't really like the majority of COs. Some of them are cool. But they probably understood what dude was in there for. They probably strategically placed him in there to have that done to him. So in my opinion, I would go out on a limb and say nothing happened. That's just my opinion, though, man. Nobody likes to see anybody raped, especially children, man. Real Kens TV.